None of the rivals on the stage can beat President Trump. Turnout is key, but so is message, according to the Dems themselves. Listen.
In order to beat Donald Trump, we're going to need the largest voter turnout in the history of the United States.
I don't think there's any chance of the senator beating President Trump. You don't start out by saying, I've got 160 million people. I'm going to take away the insurance plan that they love.
In terms of being able to beat Donald Trump, I'm better positioned, according to your poll, than anybody else to beat Donald Trump.
Most Americans don't see where they fit if they've got to choose between a socialist who thinks that capitalism is the root of all evil and a billionaire who thinks that money ought to be the root of all power.
Let's bring in a close ally of President Trump, Republican Congressman from North Carolina, Mark Meadows. Congressman, great to have you.
Great to be with you, Mike. Thanks so much.
What are your takeaways from tonight's debate in Las Vegas?
Well, I got to watch the entire debate. I can tell you the clear winner tonight was Donald Trump. We now know why that they've spent so much time on impeachment, because they don't have a message that will resonate with the American people. You know, it was interesting to see all of them go at Michael Bloomberg tonight. They perceived him to be a front runner. Not only was he not prepared, but I think he was stopped and frisked tonight, and he was found wanting because he was just really just blown away by the attacks. I haven't seen that much blood in the water since the last week of Shark Week.
Some establishment Democrats seem to be freaking out about the possibility of Bernie Sanders, a Democratic socialist, being the nominee. Your colleague, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, says don't get caught up on labels.
I think one of the largest plurality of voters in the United States of America consider themselves as like not wanting to be a part of this labeling. They don't feel like there's a home for them at the Democratic Party or at the Republican Party. That doesn't mean they're in the middle.
Your response, Congressman?
Well, I mean, Bernie Sanders is the one who's labeled himself. He calls himself a socialist. You know, he's closer to Karl Marx than he is Carl Icahn. And when we start to look at this, it's clearly the momentum is behind Bernie Sanders. We're seeing that. I saw that when I was on the ground in New Hampshire and in Iowa, and yet we saw that again tonight. There were a lot of blows that were given and a lot of shots taken, but actually Bernie Sanders seemed to come away unscathed. So whether you put a label on it or not, I think the American people want to know what is the message that's going to come forward out of the Democrat debates. And that message from Bernie is, well, just let us make sure that we take everybody else's money and distribute it to those who don't have it. The only person who's not distributing his money is Bernie Sanders.
A Bloomberg campaign memo obtained by Fox News warns the fact is, if the state of this race remains status quo with Biden, Pete, and Amy in the race on Super Tuesday, Bernie is likely to open up a delegate lead that seems nearly impossible to overcome. Congressman, is Bernie unstoppable on the Democratic side?
Well, I don't know that he's unstoppable, but certainly he is the candidate to beat. He's the one with the most momentum, and as we see that, Michael Bloomberg is not the one that's going to take him on. Now, it may be somebody else on that debate stage tonight, but it just shows that $1 billion doesn't make you prepared for prime time, because obviously Michael Bloomberg was not prepared tonight for even the simplest questions that he should have anticipated. That being said, if Bernie Sanders wins in South Carolina, which he's polling very close to Joe Biden right now, it could be a really Katie bar to the door kind of mentality for Bernie Sanders and his team.
Any sense of how your good friend, the president's, feeling right about now?
You know, the president had not only a great week over the last couple of weeks with the debacle that started in Iowa and the acquittal on impeachment, but it had a great rally tonight, not just in California, but in Phoenix. He's feeling really good. He's feeling positive, mainly because he's delivering on the promises that he made. You know, he set out to make America great. Now we're keeping America great because he's delivered on the promises, and he's going to continue to do that. Not